Hey, what's going on? So I am back, Sabine, also known as Sabine the Purposer, with another Sunday Beanspiration. I missed you guys. What are we going to talk about today? So today I wanted to talk about not making it harder than it needs to be, right? So I had a story from this week. Y'all know that New York, or maybe some of you don't know, that New York had like so much snow, like at least 2 feet in some areas. By me, there was at least 2 feet. So we went for my husband's birthday. It was, a snowy day, and we decided to go sledding, or try to go sledding. And we went to this park nearby our house that has like some hills that we could sled down. And the park wasn't sort of plowed, so the whole entire thing was covered with snow, and to the point where we couldn't even get to the parking lot. So we had to park at a nearby parking lot and walk basically across the park to get to the hill, right? And so as we're walking, my daughter, she's 8 years old, and she's like, trying to make her way through the snow, and she's like having a hard time. And then I just clicked, and I was just like, why don't you just walk in your dad's footsteps so that you don't have to make new footsteps, and it'll be easier for you to get by, right? And so it just drops in me in that moment, like that's a really good analogy. So, and what I was just thinking, like, what does that have to do with really anything? Like, how do we sort of like tie that back to life, right? And so a lot of times we try to do things the hard way. Sometimes we get in our minds that we have to do things a certain way, or we have to do it this way, or this is the only path. Like, if I don't do it this way, then I'm not going to make it. When, yes, there are paths that are paved for us, and those paths we should take advantage of because it allows us to get further, faster, and farther, faster. And yes, that's amazing. But don't think that you can't put your own little spin on it, that you can't, put your own sauce on it, your own swag on it, and do things your own way. You don't have to pave a new path, but you can modernize the path, you could innovate the path, you can do things a little bit differently, but not making it harder for yourself, not doing the most, and not making things, more challenging, putting up more walls for yourself when you really don't need to do that. You can kind of start on the path that was already created. So that was the whole sort of point of it. And so I wanted to, of course, add a scripture to this. And again, I'm no expert. I'm just a girl who loves God, and I'm trying to cut these down to 5 minutes because I've been going over. So, the scripture that I wanted to add is Isaiah 43, verse 19, and it goes like this. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So what does that mean? See, I am doing a new thing, right? So God is always doing new things in our lives. He's always making a way where we don't see there's a way. So even if you're like, I don't have the credentials to walk in the same path and footsteps as, what was carved out, he's doing a new thing. If you're saying like, I can't, speak like they do, or I can't, I don't come from the same pedigree that they do to kind of, make my way to this certain destination, but he's doing a new thing, And so it also says, now it springs up. And I thought that was interesting because sometimes we don't see the path that we're supposed to take, right? And we're just like, I have, what I have in my hand, and I don't see that I can use this to, make my way through, right? But it springs up, right? He always makes a way out of no way when you actually, take the steps, where you get dressed and you get in the car and you gather all that you need for the journey, right? And then he all of a sudden opens doors. So you have to use a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust to know that you can get to wherever you need to get on this life's journey with what you have, once you exercise a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust by starting to do, right? Start to take that path, start to walk on that journey, and you'll see how opportunities and you know, ways and doors and avenues and alleys will open up to allow you to get to where you need to get to. And then it says, do you not perceive it? Like, you don't know? You ain't see it? Like, you know what I mean? Open up your eyes. Do you not see what I am doing in this season, right? So you also have to not look at things for what they are. Sometimes we have to believe things that we cannot see, like our breath, you know, like the air that we breathe. We can't often see it, but we have to trust and believe that it's there. So do you not perceive it? Like sometimes you have to look at things not for what they are, but you have to look at the possibilities. And that, you know, falls right back into faith as well. So do you not perceive it? Like, take a look around, like be a little bit more intentional about looking at opportunities and looking at, you know, ways that you can get on with it, basically. And I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So although oftentimes you can't see the way, like we said, but it springs up and he makes a way where there is no way, right? That is what it is. So I want you to ask yourself, what is the story that I'm telling myself about how I can't, about what I don't have, about how the path is too hard and I'm not going to be able to make my own footsteps? Yes, you can. Ask yourself what that story is and start to unpack that and start to see, what do you know to be true? Like, is that even true? Has there not been people who have come and disrupted every single industry that we know of? Yes, there has. So why not you? Absolutely, you can. All right, so this is Black History Month, and I just hope that we all could take a look at all those who came before us, who have made a way. Their footsteps are there in the snow and the sand that we could step into, and then we can revolutionize and do things a new way to make everything better for all of us. So I hope this was helpful. I pray that you have an amazing week, and thank you always for watching and supporting. God bless.